in 2024, I bootstrapped 2 info companies from 0 to 6 figures, and I bootstrapped 1 info company from 0 to 7 figures. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without knowing why I was even doing it in the first place, what my goals were. By the way, here's just some proof. This is one of the companies bootstrapped to 7 figures in a year. So this was 177K in November. Actually, it's a little bit more than that because we launched November 22nd. This one, 15K on this processor in a month, 33K on this processor, 20K on this processor. And you can see this is my bank account, $38,000 in profit in a month for myself. So yeah, I say that just so I have some sort of authority and you listen to me. So today I was actually just talking to 2 of my friends who are business partners. They did about $70,000 in November. And they're asking me, they work with fitness creators. They help fitness creators sell courses, basically. And they said, hey, Braden, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get into a different space. I don't like selling fitness anymore. And knowing that, I've helped creators sell fitness courses before, and it's not as fun as some of the other spaces. It's not as fulfilling as well. But I looked at them and I was like, okay, I mean, before I even help you make this decision, what are your goals? They both kind of just were like 100K per month. And I was like, why? And they're like, take care of my family or something, right? A lot of us entrepreneurs, we set these number goals and we don't know why we set them. Oh, I want to get to $1 million a month. I want to get to 100K per month, whatever it may be. I feel like 100K per month is like the baseline that like everyone shoots for. But it's like, why do you actually want that? A lot of people don't think about it and they don't take the time to think about their goals. They just set a number goal. They chase after the material things. And then you always see these videos of like, oh, I bought a Lamborghini Aventador and I feel nothing, whatever. So the issue here is that everybody markets to you using the lifestyle. So you subconsciously are programming your brain to want those things, when in reality, they might not be as meaningful to you as possible. Now, I'm not here to shit on buying expensive things. I think some people actually get value from that. I have some friends who do buy supercars and they're happy and fulfilled with their supercars. I also know people who have bought supercars and they're like, oh shit, that was really stupid. Why'd I do that? And so it's really important that you know why you're building businesses, what your goals are, and why you actually want to make money in the first place. And that way you can actually make decisions properly. And so this was a big thing that I struggled with for a while, is I just set goals like with no reason. I was at a mastermind in June and one of my close friends, he was talking to our mentor and he's like, yeah, I want to make $1 million a month. And my mentor is like, no, you don't. Like, why do you want to make $1 million a month? He's like, like I'll have a clear mind, da da da, just like a bunch of random shit. And then it's like, okay, so picture this: you have an 8-figure company, right? $1 million a month, that's 12 mil a year. What about that? Like, what about running an 8-figure company do you think will give you a stress-free life with a clear mind? Nothing. What on earth are you gonna do with $8 million? 8 figures a year? That's like the more money you have, the more stress you have. Where are you going to put that money? How are you going to preserve it? How are you going to pay taxes? How are you going to pay payroll? Right? There are all these things you don't think about. If your goal with money is to live a stress-free life, then you don't need crazy amounts of money. And wealth is created by the disparity from income and living expenses. So really, if your goal is freedom, then and clarity of mind, then what's easier is earning less and spending less. Like, that is the easiest formula in my opinion. And really what I see, like, if you actually want to make a ton of money, it comes from just love of the game. But back to my 2 friends who are selling these fitness courses, they were trying to make this decision based on zero context. They had no framework for actually making this decision. And what happens over time when you keep making this decision, one, either working towards a goal that's not even yours, or just not having a goal at all and just being like as undefined as like, oh, I want to make more money, which is the stupidest goal to have. I don't think wanting to make money is a bad goal, but I'm saying if you do want to make more money, set a specific number and why you want to hit that and how that's actually going to impact your life, right? But what happens if you just don't have any type of criteria for making decisions or any type of as well ethics or principles in making those decisions? Then you're just going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're just going to be making decisions based on intuition. And I mean, right away when you get into business, it's a very input game. It's just action, 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 action. But you get to a point where you have enough leverage where you make more money based on the decisions you make, and you progress further in the game based on the decisions you make. And if you have no solid criteria for making decisions, you're gonna make stupid decisions, or you're gonna make good decisions, but they're lucky decisions. And I'm actually learning this because I'm working with a day trading creator in the day trading space. And so one of the things with trading is you want to follow a model. And what's important, like you might win a trade and make money, but if you broke the rules of your model, that's not your money. You shouldn't celebrate that. Vice versa, if you lose money, but you stuck to your rules, that's a good thing because you're following your model. And no matter what, if you're following a model that has a 70% win rate, to have a profitable model, you also have to lose trades, right? 30% of the time, no matter what, you're gonna lose. And so that's an important thing, is not just be making decisions based on luck, but making decisions based on your mission and vision and principles. And if you do make the wrong decision, it's fine because you are following your principles, right? You're not just making a decision based on intuition or based on some false goal. And the crazy thing is, especially in the world we live in, whether you work a job, you go to school, or you just have your own business, there's so much chaos, so much noise, social media, friends making demands of you, family making demands of you. We don't find the time to sit alone with ourselves and feel what we need to feel and think about what we need to think about and process all this junk that we have. And you really need to process all that through meditation, through going on walks, whatever your jam is. But if you don't get to the bottom of it, you won't actually listen to yourself and what you actually choose to have with your life. And so I was reading this book recently, which, as corny as this sounds, it's basically just how to choose your own reality, which I would say over 2024, I kind of have in a way. But I was rereading the book, and like the full first part of the book is just like get rid of all the bullshit so that you have the mental clarity to focus on pursuing your goals. And so that part was the easy part for me. And then it was like, boom, page 300. Now that you got all that out of the way, what's your goal? And I sat there, I was like, fuck, what is my goal? Because I had to redefine it, right? Your goal is always fluid, it's always changing. You're at different stages, you're gonna have different goals. And so I basically thought that I had tricked myself into making the love of the game my goal so that I could get the external reward. Everyone always talks about like, oh, fall in love with the process. And I thought that that meant like trick yourself into falling in love with the process so that you can get the external thing. But what I had realized in the process of tricking myself, I had actually fallen in love with the game. And I got to a point where the external financial achievement didn't mean as much to me. And now my goal basically is just mastery of the game, one. And I think it makes sense to have multiple goals as well, as long as they're like relatively aligned. But one is mastery of the game, and two is just stacking up a nest egg where I have freedom of thought and I can think far into the future. And so like a big goal of mine was just getting this amazing high rise or penthouse or nice watches. And that was like a major goal of mine for a while. And I recently flew out to Miami for the first time, and I just saw supercars everywhere, APs, Rollies, what have you. And then it made me realize like, oh, I actually don't value that as much as I thought. Like I actually value simple comfort a lot more. Like as stupid as this sounds, like having blackout curtains, nice AC to sleep in, comfy pillow, comfy bed, high quality food, nice computer setup. Like those are the things that are meaningful to me and that actually bring value to my life. And not saying that supercars, again, like if that's your thing, then do it. But just make sure whatever you set as your goal or whatever you put your financial investments towards that is actually meaningful to you, and you're not doing it for other people's approval. And that's a big thing, especially in this space. It's such a status driven space where I felt like I needed a watch to prove myself. I felt like I needed a high rise to prove myself. When at the end of the day, most of the time, I think lifestyle marketing still works a lot. Um, but most of the time, you can be very, very successful without needing to like fit into a mold. I think a lot of the success in life, at least I have found this to be true, not just material success, but holistic success from a whole life approach, comes from following your specific path. Because every human is super different. We all have different needs, different desires, different character traits, different weird quirks. And setting goals that align with your unique self, at least for me, has helped a ton. So I hope this video motivates you to actually set a goal for yourself, actually take some time to internalize and decide, what do I actually want with my life, not what is expected of me from other people or what should I want, because you have the freedom to want whatever you want. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you go make some money. I hope you make 2025 an awesome year, and peace.